Welcome to ASTRALX Eliminating Your Cosmic Path. I'm Solarian Zephyr, your cosmic strategist, and I am so excited to be diving into the stars with you today.
And I'm Lunaria Celine, your intuitive guide, and together we'll be exploring the profound ways the cosmos influences your life.
Today we're focusing on a fascinating and powerful combination. Have you ever felt like you're being pulled in two different directions? Like you crave stability, but also yearn for adventure?
It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? The pull between the familiar and the unknown, the grounded and the daring.
It's like standing with one foot on solid ground and the other on a rocket ship ready for takeoff.
That's a great way to put it. And that's the energy we're diving into today. The unique cosmic blueprint of a man with Taurus Rising and an Aries Sun navigating the year 2025.
So he's got that grounded Taurian energy, but with a fiery Aries spirit driving him forward.
Talk about an interesting combination.
It's like having a master craftsman meticulously shaping his creation, but fueled by a furnace that burns with ambition and drive.
So instead of a clash, this could actually be a powerful combination, could it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Imagine the focus and determination of Taurus coupled with the pioneering spirit of Aries. This individual can lay a solid foundation while fearlessly reaching for new heights.
So he's not limited by either energy. He's got the best of both worlds.
Precisely. It's not about choosing one over the other, but mastering the art of weaving them together. Now, 2025 seems to be a pivotal year for this individual, with some interesting astrological influences at play. What stands out to you?
Well, Saturn, the cosmic taskmaster, takes center stage in his career sector.
Saturn. That doesn't sound too fun, does it?
Saturn can be demanding, but it's also incredibly rewarding. Saturn's influence is about building a legacy. Think of a sculptor meticulously chipping away at stone, revealing a masterpiece over time. This year calls for patience, discipline, and a commitment to long-term goals.
So maybe not the year for impulsive career leaps, but a time to really solidify his position and build something lasting.
Exactly. It's about laying the groundwork for future success. But don't think this means stagnation. Jupiter, the planet of abundance, casts a favorable gaze on his financial sector, particularly in the first half of the year.
Ah, Jupiter. That sounds a bit more promising, doesn't it?
Indeed, Jupiter brings opportunities for growth, expansion, and abundance.
Interesting. The source mentions technology and long-term investments as potential areas of growth. Could this be the year our Taurus Aries man takes a calculated risk that pays off handsomely?
It's certainly a possibility. He has the Taurian practicality to assess risk and the Aries courage to seize opportunities. The key is to strike a balance, to blend those energies strategically.
It's like he's got the blueprint for success. He just needs to follow the instructions carefully.
Precisely.
Now, what about love and relationships? Does 2025 offer any cosmic support in that area?
Venus, the planet of love and harmony, graces his relationship sector with stability and a potential for profound connection.
Venus. Now, that sounds lovely.
Venus's influence is gentle and nurturing. Existing relationships could deepen, and there's even the possibility of encountering a soulmate.
A soulmate connection in 2025. That's intriguing. But, even with all this positive energy, I'm curious about the potential challenges. Saturn's influence can be quite demanding, can it?
Indeed, while Saturn encourages discipline and commitment in his career, it can also bring stress and a need to reevaluate relationships. He might find himself questioning which connections truly nourish him and letting go of those that no longer serve his growth.
So a sort of cosmic decluttering, letting go of what's holding him back to make space for more meaningful connections.
Precisely. It can be a time of testing, of refining his social circle to align with his evolving values. This might feel challenging, but it ultimately paves the way for deeper and more authentic relationships.
So it's not necessarily about ending relationships, but about being more mindful about who he allows into his inner circle.
Exactly.
I'd like to touch upon health as well. Are there any specific areas this individual might need to pay attention to in 2025?
Well, Saturn's transit can bring about stress and fatigue, so prioritizing self-care is crucial. Think of it as replenishing the wellspring of his energy. Regular exercise and nourishing diet and practices like meditation can help him maintain balance and vitality.
So those classic self-care practices are even more important this year.
They are. And for someone with Moon in Taurus, focusing on emotional well-being becomes even more important.
Because Moon in Taurus is all about that inner peace and security.
Precisely. Nurturing his emotional landscape will be key to navigating the year with resilience. There's also mention of Ketu, a shadowy lunar node potentially bringing health challenges related to the liver.
Ketu, now that sounds a little ominous.
Ketu's influence can be subtle, but it's important to be aware of it. Paying attention to his diet and incorporating liver-supporting herbs or practices would be wise.
And of course, regular medical checkups are always a good idea, especially given these potential influences.
Absolutely. Prevention is always better than cure.
Now, are there any specific months that stand out as particularly auspicious or challenging for our Taurus Aries man?
April, May, and August are highlighted as months of potential growth and accomplishment. Think of them as fertile ground for planting seeds and reaping the rewards of his efforts.
So those are the months to really push forward and make things happen.
They are. It's a time when his hard work and dedication can lead to significant progress, particularly in his career and finances.
And what about the more challenging periods?
January, June, and November may require a bit more introspection and careful navigation. They might bring up obstacles or difficult decisions, perhaps requiring him to confront uncomfortable truths or make necessary adjustments.
So not necessarily bad months, but periods of introspection and course correction.
Exactly. Think of them as cosmic checkpoints, prompting him to pause, reflect, and ensure he's still on the path that aligns with his truest self.
It's like those times when you're driving and you have to stop for gas or check the map to make sure you're still heading in the right direction.
It's a perfect analogy.
Now, we've been talking about these astrological influences in a general sense, but are there any real-life examples of people who embody this Taurus Rising Aries Sun energy?
Finding an exact match is rare, but we can draw inspiration from individuals who strongly express either the Taurus Rising or the Aries Sun archetype.
Do you have any examples in mind?
Consider Robert Downey Jr., a Taurus Rising known for his resilience and determination.
Oh, yes. He's definitely got that Taurian strength.
He does. And then there's Vincent van Gogh, an Aries Sun whose art burned with passion and bold strokes of color.
Two very different individuals, but both embodying certain aspects of this unique combination.
Precisely. While their charts may differ overall, they embody certain facets of this unique combination.
It's like seeing those astrological archetypes come to life, offering a glimpse into the potential of this blend. Now, in terms of romantic compatibility, who might a Taurus Rising Aries Sun man find particularly harmonious with?
Taurus Rising generally finds a natural flow with earth and water signs. These signs share a similar appreciation for stability, groundedness, and emotional connection. Think Virgo, Capricorn, Cancer, or Pisces.
So those relationships would likely be more effortless and less demanding.
Yes, the shared values and approaches to life create a sense of ease and understanding. However, this doesn't mean relationships with fire and air signs are impossible.
It just might require more conscious effort and compromise, right? Because their ways of being in the world are fundamentally different.
Exactly. It's about recognizing and respecting those differences, being willing to communicate openly, and finding ways to bridge the gap.
So it's not about limiting yourself to certain signs, but about understanding the dynamics at play.
Precisely.
Now, about Venus retrograde in Aries. That seems like an interesting transit to consider, especially for a man with both Taurus and Aries prominent in his chart. How might this influence him?
Venus retrograde is a time of introspection, particularly in matters of the heart. It can bring up unresolved issues from the past, inviting him to revisit old patterns and seek closure.
So perhaps a time for revisiting past relationships or emotional wounds that still need healing.
Yes, it's an opportunity to glean wisdom from past experiences and create a more fulfilling and authentic future in love.
It sounds like 2025 is a year of immense potential for our Taurus Rising Aries Sun man. A year of building deepening connections and ultimately becoming more aligned with his true self.
Indeed, it's a cosmic invitation to embrace his duality, to harness the strengths of both Taurus and Aries, and to create a life that reflects the unique masterpiece he is.
And remember, these are just general insights. A personalized reading can unlock even deeper understanding and guidance, revealing the specific nuances of his cosmic blueprint.
Exactly. It's like having a personalized map to navigate the year ahead, revealing the hidden pathways and possibilities unique to his journey. It's really fascinating when you think about it, how these general astrological trends for 2025 play out in someone's life.
Yeah, it's like we're looking at a map of the year's cosmic weather patterns, but then we zoom in to see how it affects this one individual.
Exactly. And that's where the real magic happens, because even though these transits affect everyone, how they manifest is deeply personal.
Right. It's like we're all under the same sky, but experiencing it in completely different ways.
Precisely. Just like how a heat wave in the desert feels different than a heat wave in a rainforest, even though it's the same phenomenon.
So we've got these broad astrological influences, but then they filter through the lens of this individual's unique birth chart.
Right. That's why personalized readings are so powerful. They can illuminate those specific nuances and show how those broader trends will play out in your life.
So for our Taurus Rising Aries Sun listener out there, What are some key takeaways or advice you'd offer him for navigating 2025?
Well, first and foremost, I'd say embrace that duality. That blend of Taurian stability and Aries drive is a potent force.
It's like having a sturdy foundation with a rocket engine strapped to it.
Exactly. You've got the strength to build something lasting, but also the energy to launch it into the stratosphere.
So how can he leverage that in his career, especially with Saturn demanding so much focus and discipline?
It's about channeling that energy strategically. Saturn's influence in his career sector is about building a legacy. Think of a master architect designing a skyscraper. Every detail meticulously planned for a structure that will stand the test of time.
So patience and perseverance are key. But didn't you mention that Jupiter's influence on his finances suggests potential for abundance as well?
Absolutely. Jupiter can bring some exciting opportunities, especially in the first half of the year. It's like a cosmic green light for growth and expansion.
But even with those opportunities, I imagine it's important to approach them with that Tolian practicality, not letting that Aries impulsiveness lead to hasty decisions.
Precisely. Do your research, weigh the options, and then move forward with confidence.
So it's about finding that sweet spot between bold action and calculated risk-taking.
Exactly.
Now let's talk relationships. Venus brings harmony, but Saturn's transit suggests a period of reevaluation as well. How can he navigate that?
It's about being discerning. Venus offers the potential for deepening existing bonds, experiencing greater intimacy, and maybe even meeting a soulmate.
So love is definitely on the horizon. But how does Saturn's influence play into this?
Saturn encourages us to examine our relationships and ask ourselves which ones truly support our growth and which ones might be holding us back.
So it's not necessarily about ending relationships, but about being more conscious about the company we keep.
Exactly, and that applies to friendships as well.
It's like cleaning out your closet, getting rid of the things you no longer wear to make room for new treasures.
That's a great analogy because when we create space in our lives for what truly matters, we open ourselves up to new possibilities.
Now, with all this emphasis on career and relationships, I imagine health could be a concern as well, especially with Saturn's influence potentially bringing stress and fatigue.
You're right. It's crucial to prioritize self-care this year. Things like exercise, healthy eating, meditation, all those things that help us recharge and replenish.
And for someone with Moon in Taurus, nurturing that emotional well-being is especially important.
Absolutely. Because when we feel emotionally grounded, we can handle anything life throws our way.
We also talked about the possibility of liver-related health challenges. What can he do to mitigate those risks?
Prevention is key. Paying attention to his diet, limiting alcohol intake, and maybe incorporating some liver-supporting herbs or supplements.
And of course, regular checkups with a healthcare professional.
Always a good idea.
Now, we mentioned those potentially challenging months, January, June, and November. Is there anything he can do to prepare for those?
It's not about fearing those months, but seeing them as opportunities for growth. Think of them as cosmic checkpoints, a time to pause, reflect, and make any necessary course corrections.
It's like those detours you sometimes encounter on a road trip. They might be frustrating at first, but they often lead to unexpected discoveries.
Yeah, exactly. And who knows, you might even find a shortcut you wouldn't have discovered otherwise.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about these astrological influences in the general sense, but it's those personal nuances of his birth chart that will really paint the full picture.
Right. It's like having a general map of the terrain versus having a detailed GPS system guiding you every step of the way.
So for those who want to delve deeper into their own cosmic blueprint, to get that personalized guidance, what would you recommend?
I highly recommend exploring the personalized readings offered by Solarian Zephyr and Lunaria Selene. They are true masters at decoding the language of the stars and translating it into practical wisdom for your life.
And the best part is, you can receive your personalized reading in audio format delivered right to your inbox.
It's like having your own personal cosmic advisor right there in your pocket.
So if you're ready to embark on your own journey of self-discovery, visit the link in the description. And don't forget to use the code DPDIVE25 for a special discount.
Trust me, this is an investment in yourself that will pay off in countless ways. It's like we each have this cosmic instruction manual tucked away inside us, right? A map of our potential and our purpose.
A blueprint for our soul's journey. I like that.
And when you start to understand that blueprint, you can really start to see how it shapes your life.
It's like those moments when you suddenly recognize a pattern.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's why I always do that. Or that's why I'm drawn to those kinds of people.
Exactly. And that's where personalized readings can be so insightful. They can help you connect those dots and see the bigger picture.
It's like having someone point out the landmarks on your map so you can navigate with more confidence.
Precisely. Now, we've talked about the positive aspects of this Taurus Rising Aries Sun combination, but every astrological blend has its challenges as well. What might this individual need to be mindful of in 2025?
Well, one potential challenge could be finding that balance between the Taurian desire for stability and the Aries need for action.
You're right. It's like that internal tug of war between wanting to stay grounded and wanting to soar.
If he gets too stuck in that Taurian comfort zone, he might miss out on opportunities. But if he lets that Aries impulsiveness take over, he could end up making rash decisions.
It's about finding that middle ground, honoring both sides of his nature.
So how can he do that? How can he integrate those energies more effectively?
Well, awareness is the first step. Recognizing those patterns and understanding how they influence his thoughts and actions.
And then from there, it's about making conscious choices,
Right.
right? Not letting those impulses control him.
Exactly. It's about harnessing that energy and directing it in a way that serves his highest good.
Now, what about relationships? Are there any specific challenges this individual might face in that area?
Well, Taurus Rising is known for being loyal and sensual, but also possessive, while Aries Sun can be fiercely independent and sometimes a bit reckless in matters of the heart.
So finding a partner who can both provide that sense of stability and allow for freedom and independence could be key.
Exactly. It's about finding someone who appreciates both his need for roots and his desire for wings.
And communication is essential, right? Making sure those needs are expressed clearly and that boundaries are respected.
Absolutely, because resentment can build up if one partner feels stifled or the other feels neglected.
It's about finding that delicate balance, creating a relationship that nourishes both individuals.
And that takes effort from both sides. It's about being willing to compromise to meet each other's needs.
It's like tending a garden. You have to nurture both plants equally to ensure they both thrive.
That's a beautiful analogy. So to sum it all up, 2025 is a year of incredible potential for our Taurus Rising Aries Sun friend.
It's a year for building a legacy, for deepening connections, for taking calculated risks, and for embracing his unique cosmic blueprint.
And remember, even though we've been exploring these astrological influences in a general sense, it's those personal nuances of his birth chart that will truly illuminate his path.
It's like we've given him a map of the terrain, but to truly navigate it, he needs a personalized guide.
And that's where those personalized readings come in. They provide that level of depth and detail that can help him make the most of this incredible year.
So if you're listening and you're ready to dive deeper into your own cosmic blueprint, we encourage you to check out the personalized readings offered by Solarian Zephyr and Lunaria Selene.
They are truly gifted at decoding the language of the stars and translating it into practical wisdom for your life.
And for a limited time, you can use the code DEEPDBE25 for a special discount on your reading.
Don't miss out on this opportunity to unlock the secrets hidden within your stars and embark on a journey of self-discovery.
Until next time, may the stars guide you, and may your journey be filled with wonder, purpose, and infinite possibility.